Hello everyone and welcome back to another ScoreCEO tutorial video. My name is Jasmine, your ScoreCEO expert. And on today's video, we're going to be going over how to create issues inside of ScoreCEO, what are issues, and what they're even used for. So as you may seen before, and I'm sharing my screen with you so you guys can see, in your dashboard, you've probably seen this area of this widget that's called issues. This issue area is to help identify when there's a problem with the client's file. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of what would be considered an issue. So, the most common issue that's found is that either the customer did not continue their subscription with their credit monitoring program, or that they changed their credit monitoring password, and that would inquire for an issue to be created to help the customer service agent identify that there's a problem with the file and then have to follow up with the customer. But it's not limited to just that. It can be other issues as well. So this is a key important area for processors to help identify the problem for the customer service agents to be able to work on these issues, and they can continue moving forward with their dispute process. Now, this is going to help for your processing team as well as if you're doing processing with scoring.com outsourcing department. It works both ways. So it's really good to understand how the issue can benefit you and your team to order to keep track of everything. So as we can see here, this issue area is broken down into three sections. We have issues that are considered resolved, we have pending issues, and the total amount of issues. So whomever is the person in charge of following up with customers and making sure that everything is okay to go, they're going to be they're going to be living in the pending area. The pending one is going to be where all the issues are going to be located. The resolved ones, it's really not that important anymore because they have already been resolved. And then we just have a total that brings them all together in one. So I'm going to go into the pending issues just so you can see how it looks. So here we're going to see that it's showing us an issue. So we have one specific client in this case that has a credit monitoring issue. So what you could do is you can click on the pencil or the eye to view and see what the issue is. So here it's identifying that this particular person has a credit monitoring issue, and that issue is that the username and password is invalid. Okay. So this is a trigger for you to know, hey, we have to reach out, in this case to Mary Scott, in order for her to understand the issue that's going on and at the same time address that issue so you can continue on with your dispute processing. Okay, so right then you could move on to do the next part of your process. But today I want to show you how these issues could be created and how you can create different types of issues and the different types that are available in there for you. So let's start with creating an issue. So I'm going to, since I'm inside of Mary Scott already, this client, I'm going to use her as a reference, but you can locate this in any of your customers' profiles. We have a bullet here that's called issues, and that's where you can go in to either see the issues that they have on their profile or to create a new issue. So let's use an example. The processor is working, is going to begin to work on this client's file. They go in. Unfortunately, they don't have access to the customer's credit monitoring program. They're going to proceed to come into this issue area, right? And we're just using that example for one. And then we're going to click on Create New. This is going to open up the area to create an issue. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to name that issue and we're going to give it a description. So if it's the same issue, let's say that they had a problem with their credit monitoring, we can address it as CM issue or credit monitoring issue, or you can be more detailed. For example, if you're using Smart Credit, then you could say Smart Credit login issue, whatever works for you. And then in the description, you're going to type in, what's going on. So in this case, where you can just say, attempted to log in and the credit monitoring password was invalid. Okay, so by doing that, basically what we're doing is we're identifying what that problem is. Now, this type of issue, we could address it as a credit monitoring issue, like we have here. We have different um, issue category types that you can choose from, and then you can assign it. Now, if you want to keep it in the credit monitoring, we could definitely click credit monitoring, and then you could give it a priority. The priority is going to be up to the person that's creating the issue and what you and your team consider either a high or low priority. For us in the outsourcing department, we consider this a high priority because we can't move forward unless we have a new report. So I'm going to click high priority. Now, when I save this, it's just going to create that issue inside of their records. So this is important because now this record is going to stay there. The processor can continue moving forward and doing, a different client until this issue is resolved. But that's why it's key important that now the team that's in charge of contacting the clients and, making sure everything is good to go, monitor these issue area, okay? Then they could come in here to the issues and say, oh, look, we have an issue for this case, Mary Scott. She has a credit monitoring issue. We're going to go in and view. Perfect. We can't log into her credit monitoring. Let me give this customer a call. Now, let's say you give this customer a call. They say, oh, yep, I did change the password. Here's my new password. There's two options. They can come into their customer portal, update their information. If not, if they want to give it to you on the fly, then you're going to come to the customer's, click on customer information to locate their profile, and then go to their credit monitoring, and then go ahead and update their password to their new password given. Let's say it's test1234 now. And then we want to save this. Now, before you go with the client, if you're using Smart Credit, you're going to want to do the execute to see if you're able to log in with that. If you're not, then there you want to continue to address the issue. Say, hey, that password you gave me, still I'm unsuccessful logging in. Can you double check? But if everything's good to go, then all you have to do is come back into the issue here and click on this pencil, and then you're going to mark that it was resolved. And then you're going to detail what happened, what was resolved. And it can be something like contacted client and she provided updated password. And then when you do this, you save it. Now, one thing I do want to show you is why is this really important also for the processing team is because the processors here have their cases to be processed. Now, each time there's an issue, they get this hazard triangle on their screen. So it's really just showing them, this person has an issue, and it just lets them continue to move forward with anyone else. And all the ones that have hazards, they know that has some type of issue that, they weren't able to work on it. So once you resolve all the issues for the client, I'm going to go in, I'm going to resolve the next issue since it was under the same person. And I'm just going to make this one brief, resolved, and save. We're going to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to see here that under the cases to be processed, Mary Scott no longer has that hazard triangle next to it. That's just letting the team know that the issues that were there maybe at some point is gone. Or maybe they don't even notice, but then they would be able to see this is a client that maybe needs to be verified, or I can go potentially work on it. Okay, because there's the issue was resolved. So that's going to help them be able to cue in and see what needs to be worked on also. So that's a one way you can use the issue area. And I wanted to show you something else in here. If we go back to a customer, and I'm just going to go into this test one here, and we go into the issue. When we talked about this, this issue is not just necessarily for the client. It can be an admin issue. It could be, let's say that, this is a client that the processor is going to be working on, and the admin department still haven't added in their documentation. They can create the issue, direct it to an admin, and this can be addressed that particular way also. So it's not just limited to, credit monitoring issue. It's really for any issue at all. So I hope that this information is useful and you can take this into advantage and add this into your process. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or visit our little chat box that we have located at the bottom right corner of our screen. And there, any of our team will be able to assist you. So thank you for tuning in and see you in the next one.